will soon be unrecognizable. The American presidency reached a new low point when Barack Obama gave his speech in Selma, Alabama. On the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, when true victims of racism bravely marched in protest of their oppression, the president did what he always does. He divided instead of united. He reopened wounds that were healing instead of helping them to heal further. This president takes demagoguery to a whole new level. He was doing just what he wanted to do, which was to divide black against white, straight against gay, Asian against Hispanic, Hispanic against black. This is what the president spends every waking moment thinking about how to do. I can refute his demagogic speech point by point, but first, I want to share something completely different with you. I want to tell you about two dreams I had, both on the same night, that are both very important to what I'm trying to tell you. The White Owl. In the first dream, I was on a trail in the woods with my son and another person. I used to walk in the woods with my son quite often when he was a kid. As I walked in the woods in my dream, I came upon a woman. She seemed to be walking a dog on a long leash, perhaps a 30-foot lead. I stopped for a moment because I didn't recognize the breed of her dog. But it wasn't a dog. As the animal turned toward me, I realized it was a white owl with one eye. It had one eye, hollowed out. I asked the woman, "Do you often come to this place in the woods?" "Yes," she said. "We will know each other." Immediately afterward, in my dream, I was giving a lecture in a seminar room in a private facility. I was talking to my audience on the meaning of rain. Then I gave a seminar to another small group on the meaning of hunger. I told them, most of you understand by now that you can eat the most expensive meal in New York City or the most expensive meal in Los Angeles, but not enjoy one bite of it. Do you know why? Because you're hungry. I'm going to teach you today how to truly be hungry so you can taste your food again. Now comes the most important part. In the next dream, there was a black woman in a black van. She was middle-aged and heavy-set. Around her were a group of black teenagers with bandanas on. She spoke to them quietly, saying, "America is a deep country. You must find forgiveness in yourselves in order to know that deepness." This is what I had prayed the first black president would teach America. Instead, this president teaches the opposite. He teaches division. He teaches hatred. He teaches envy. He teaches the antithesis of his alleged Christian beliefs. We constantly hear he's not a Muslim, he's a Christian. It doesn't matter. He isn't practicing either religion. Divisive demagoguery. He is instead practicing the religion of demagoguery. The black woman in my dream was a healer. She told her young audience about the healing power of forgiveness, but Obama is unable to forgive. He does not have forgiveness in his heart, as Jesus taught us to have. Let's not forget that Barack Obama has no wrongs for which to forgive anyone. He wasn't beaten by cops for demanding his rights. He wasn't denied the right to vote or go to school. He was a spoiled white kid with a black father who decided to pretend to be a downtrodden black man. He talks like he experienced racism himself when he never did. Obama grew up in Honolulu, Hawaii, in a multi-ethnic society where there is almost no racial discrimination. If anything, whites are the minority discriminated against in Honolulu. Barack Obama has no experience with racism, yet he wraps himself in all the rhetoric of those who did. Even worse, he incites hatred in black Americans for racism where it doesn't exist, all for political gain. That is how cynically and bitterly this man hates America. I'm not saying there is no racism in the world today. Of course there is. But Obama talks as if it's still 1964, and he is Martin Luther King. He talks to black voters as if they aren't voters, as if they hadn't won that right 50 years ago. He talks to them as if Darren Wilson is one of those cops beating protesters on Bloody Sunday 50 years ago, even though two separate investigations concluded Wilson was telling the truth and found no case against him. This is the kind of leadership you get when the people have no representation and the government exists.